live here. Okay, we are live. All right. Hey, everybody. I hope you guys can see me okay. I am Jeffjansen. I told you I was going to do something different tonight. I was actually going to show you some of the books. A lot of people have been asking me about the different types of books and everything that I read. And now I actually have a lot of containers full. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you a few of the books that you can be reading while you are at home. Now, some of my main books is like by Brian Carruthers, Building an Empire and stuff like that. Now, a couple of them are out in my Jeep, which I read all the time. There's a couple books that my daughter has, okay? But one of the books I'd always recommend, and I'm going to start with this one. It's probably one of the most influential books that you'll probably ever read. It's How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Okay, now if you ever get to this one, I have actually several copies of this, and the reason why this one, I think he put a lot of work into this book. Okay, now you can get it on book on tape, but I tell you what, if you get a chance, sit down and read this particular book. Okay, the other one that now I've read a lot. I'm not going to go. I'm going to probably show it to you, but I'm not going to go over every one of them. Okay. Another one is Falling Forward by John Maxwell. Okay, Endless Referrals. Now, a lot of people, they think it's just, no, these are made for all businesses. Okay, people that made these books made them because they had success. Okay, one of the big ones, Stephen Covey. If you ever get a chance, you know, he's a good one to read. All right. Now you'll start hearing. Oh, that's Mockingjay. I tell you, my daughters. Now, Outliers. Very good book. I'd recommend that one. All right. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. I've got the entire Stephen Covey collection. I read all of Stephen Covey's stuff, okay? How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. All right. This is another one. All right. By Dale Carnegie. Now, the reason why a lot of people, these are all different types of books, all right? One of the very first books, and I'll show you that in just a second if I can find it. My sister started me out reading this stuff when I was in 6th grade after my mom died. And one of the very first ones she gave me, let's see, where's it at? I'll find it here in a second and I'll show it to you. I got stuff everywhere right now because I was going to show you guys. But there's also books I have out in my Jeep right now. But anyway, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, Napoleon Hill, he's a little radical of an author, but he's very good, okay? Some simple books, all right, 110%. If you are me, then who am I? These are all good books. Zig Ziglar, I have read every single thing Zig Ziglar has. I've been reading them since I worked at Radio Shack, believe it or not, and ever since I was a lifeguard. Zig Ziglar, I don't know, I think he's what got me into a lot of reading and stuff because he made things fun, okay? And that was the biggest thing about Zig Ziglar is he made things a lot of fun. All right, these are all my company stuff, but they're really good, okay, by Paul J. Meyer, Pathway to Platinums, but these are books by my company, and I have a special need for those. QBQ, all right, these are some other books. Now, the reason why I'm showing you these is to let you know the books that I read and how I come up with my ideas. Everybody's like, well, Jeff just sits around and says, no, I read books, and when I read and then I listen in my vehicle, a lot of them I also have book on tape. A lot of my books are on our audiobook. Okay, The Compound Effect is another good one. All right, The Power of Habit. Okay, Start with Why. There's another book that I have, but I have it on my computer. It's The Art of Not Giving a F, and it's an actual book, and it's really good. Okay. I do a lot of history stuff too. So, one of the first books I had that was recommended to me, not what I got, but when our CEO came on, Jeff Bell, he suggested David and Goliath. And it actually, you know, some books, they go towards what your ideas are, they go towards what you're doing, and they're really, really good. Other books, sometimes you got to get away from some books, and you always have to try to do different authors, okay? Icebreakers is a good one. We read that all the time. Go for No. The Last Prospecting Guide, okay? How to Slay the Financial Dragon. 170 Mental Toughness Secrets, okay? One I got when I was in college was Eat That Frog, and I've read this one a couple times by Brian Tracy. All right, now why am I showing you some of these, okay? Because these are books, oh, here it is. Now, think about it. A lot of people have known me. A lot of people are on here, and they've known me my entire life, okay? And they think, oh, just been in that. No, this book here, my sister got me, okay? And it means something to me. She got me 2 books. She got me this one, and she got me a book called I Dare You, okay? Never judge a book by color, and trust me, there's no cover to this thing, okay? The Richest Man in Babylon makes you think about how you're spending your money. It makes you think about what you're doing. It's a great book, and I would recommend it to anybody, by George Clason, okay? Now, I Dare You, this book I've been over many, many times, and it's kind of funny because this has gone through a lot of people, and the next person that's going to get this book, this one started getting passed around in 1989, but my sister gave it to me, and this is a book I will give to my daughter, and there's meaning behind it. We all sign it, and we go through it. It's a book called I Dare You, and it pushes people to their limits, okay? So as you can see, this Richest Man, I've read that one many, many times. So when I listen to it on audiobook, it gives you a different meaning, okay? And if anybody knows me, I used to have a hard time reading when I was younger, okay? The Parallel Pipeline, that's a history book. Like I said, I got the entire John Maxwell collection, and I've read them all. The Millionaire Mentor, okay, B2B Basics, How to Follow Up. One of the people's biggest problems is, in any business, is they ask people, but they never follow up. You know, in business, everybody thinks that the sale's going to be right away. Or when you go into an interview or something, it's actually going to take, if it's a good job or a good sale or a good business, it's going to be about 2 or 3 times, okay? And the problem is, a lot of people, they go in one time, they're like, oh my God, I didn't get it. Oh my God, the whole world hates me. No, that is not the problem's you. The problem is you got to go in full determination. So everything that I teach you guys, when I do my motivational stuff and everything, I'm doing it from books and stuff that I read. Now, one of my friends, I always try to think of what my books, like right now, I got a buddy of mine, like you all know me for reading the Dream Giver series, okay? And I recommend this to anybody. The Dream Giver for teens, the Dream Giver for parents, Bruce Wilkinson, the Dream Giver, okay? You guys have heard me read these books online. You can go on my YouTube page, and you can find me reading every one of these books. Now, not only have I read them myself, but I read them on YouTube because then I can listen to them back. Instead of getting a lot of stuff on audiobook, I just listen to myself read them back, okay? The 12 Pillars, The Magic of Thinking Big, Adversaries and Allies, all right? We're so busy in a world today where we want to be so negative that people don't realize by being negative, you're turning off a lot of people. You're turning off a lot of sales, a lot of business, okay? Okay. Now, one of my big events I went to as an executive director, I got to meet J.C. Watts, okay, and I got his book at the convention, okay, The Sly Edge by Jeff Olson, really, really good book. All right, and I can tell you little bits and pieces of every single book. Okay. Now this one, believe it or not, I've read it, but it was kind of more of a thesaurus. It's Your First Year in Network Marketing. Like I said, you're always looking to make money, and network marketing is one of the next biggest thing. I mean, look what everybody can do right now. You have to work from your house, okay? Positive Personality Profiles, it's a good book. Success on Your Own Terms, okay? The Magic is in the Extra Mile, you know? Gary Chapman, When Sorry Isn't Enough, all right? Like I said, a couple of books over here, I'll get into it just a second. The 4-Year Career, I got this one from my friend Jenny Goley, and it goes over here, has all the different marketing stuff in it, what people can make, how you can do it, stuff like that, okay? Small little bitty books people have written, okay? The famous Little Red Book that makes dreams come true. I mean, these books here, you guys have heard me read on YouTube, you've heard me read on Facebook, you've heard me read, and I do that a lot so I can go back and review them for later on, okay? Work Like a Slave, Think Like a Master. All right, Be Recruiting Superstar. Okay, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad when I got to college, right out of the Marine Corps. One of the very first books I ever read when I was in the college that was outside of my college curriculum was actually Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And, you know, he's got a great toothpaste. Him and his buddy went into making some toothpaste and stuff. And, you know, it's a good book. And I could get into it all, but, you know, and we have discussions about these books and stuff like that. So if you ever wonder, a lot of books I'm reading for the second time. I have Grant Cardone's another big one. I got a lot of Grant Cardone's, okay? Once again, Stephen Covey, Real Leadership. Now this one, there's a reason why I had this one. If you notice, it was signed. Now a lot of my books are signed by the author because I've got to meet him. Now this particular author, he's part of our business, John Addison. Okay, probably one of the greatest guys you ever meet. Nicest guy, greatest guy. But you really should get his book, Real Leadership. It's a great, great book, okay? In fact, I actually have a couple extras here. I forgot I got them. And I actually have a couple extra books. So this is going to be, I'm going to put this in the giveaways also that I'm going to do if you do that 1-minute survey. Okay? Now here's a big book. This was a fun one to read. Let's put it that way. Making a Habit of Success. Okay? All right, 4 disciplines. Now, I have boxes and boxes. I'm not going to go, like I told you, I'm not going over. I'm just going over the ones that I've been reading like this year and last year. Okay, the 4 disciplines of execution, leaders eat last. Okay, the one thing. All right, because I'm missing a lot of my books I read. Grant Cardone is Be Obsessed or Be Average. I'm just going over them quick. Okay. Smarter, Faster, Better by Charles Duhigg. Okay? Now, the one I set aside was a lot of people on here, they're trying to figure out how to make money and stuff, okay? And believe it or not, they're actually ones I read, and I don't have them, I put them somewhere there because I actually have them with me. They're upstairs, I'm sorry. I don't read in this particular spot. Money Mindset is one of the books that I have a bunch of these I'm going to be giving away to people. So, but when I give them away to people, I also ask that you get on the reading program with us and you go over it with us and we read it so we can go over it. It's not just collecting books. There's a lot of people out there, what they do is they collect books. Just for anybody new on right now, other books that I have, the Go-Giver series, okay? The Go-Giver Sell More, Go-Giver Leader, the Go-Giver, a little story about powerful business and a Go-Giver Influencer, all right? Now, that's not the order, but... and then the other ones are John Maxwell, okay, Stephen Covey and John Maxwell. They actually have entire workbooks and stuff. Pro Simmer by Bill Quaid. Oh, what else do I got? Oh, this is a book. I already said it, but I'm giving this one away. I got several brand new books. I'm actually giving away a couple of these. Now, this is one of Brian's newest book, okay? This is called Untrap the Freedom Manifesto. Now, Brian, he is one of my sponsors. He's one of my team leaders in my company, okay? He's always on here. You hear me mention him. You see him. You know, we let you go and listen to him and stuff like that. Happy belated birthday to Melissa, his wife. Whoops, I think I forgot to send her out a happy birthday. But anyway, Brian writes these books because he's been in the trenches with us the whole time. Now, he doesn't put what he does in the books, okay? But he does put everything he's learned, and he's read everything here too. I mean, he reads twice as much as I do, okay? The other ones that I just finished up reading, the Motivational Manifesto, okay? 30 Ways in 30 Days by Steve Melia. Mike is the guy I joke around with all the time about snowballs because they're just really nice people, and they are very, very influential. Chris Hughes, but all his stuff is online that I have, that I read, but he's got more books also, okay? The Sales Manifesto by Gittimer. Now, you can go onto YouTube and look up Jeff Gittimer, okay, or you can buy his books. I've watched a lot of his YouTube videos and stuff also. He has got a lot of stuff on there, all right? Major Life Puzzle by Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn's a big one. Jim Rohn, our company had some stuff, The Bridge to the Gap. But here's what I wanted to get to. This book right here. You're going to laugh at me. And everybody on here is going to laugh at me. Okay? Because the whole thing about life and about sales and about getting the business, right? It boils down to one book. And it's funny because everybody says you always need that one niche in the market. And you always need that one thing to tell people that no one's ever told them before. Okay? And I'm going to, over the next couple months, I'm going to put this all together in a talk. But it boils down to one book that we all learned basically when we were in kindergarten and first grade. And it was funny because I had a revelation when my daughter was born, and I was doing my own business stuff, and I was getting in, and, you know, I was doing everything in my power. Everybody that, you know, you hear rumors and gossip, but people don't know is you're working behind the scenes so hard to try to figure things out, to take avenues. You know, it's like a video game. Every time you go down one hall, another door closed, another door. I mean, that's what, you keep failing and failing until you finally succeed. You keep trying the numbers. You keep pushing things around. You keep changing things up, okay? So when everybody else is out there like, oh, yeah, he's got everything in the world. No, you're actually working, okay? And you're trying your best to succeed. I can't tell you how many business owners I know that everybody's like, oh, they just got here. A couple great business owners are like the McLeans in Quincy. They are some of the most successful people, but they work it every day. They own restaurants, and they do a great job. I know not everybody likes them, and I know people got room, but you want to know something? When you actually get to know them, you see that they got really big hearts. They're just business people to where they're always trying to make a dime. They want to give to their community. They want to give themselves, and they want to make a dollar. It makes a lot of sense, okay? And but they own restaurants, okay? I know other people that own nightclubs. I know other people that one of the great business person is my Uncle Dave. He owns Delta Tire in Quincy, and his entire life, he's had everywhere from farms to apple orchards to all these other things, and he's helped the family farms and everything. But now he runs Delta Tire. His dad's had it for over 60 years, and he took it over. And he's a very successful person, but he's at his business every single day, and it's a brick and mortar. And so when people ask me where I get these ideas from, is because these are people in my family. My family's a farm family, okay? But then I made friends with like the Gullies, and Jenny Gully's got her own business, and Mike Gully has Gully Transportation, or you got Jack Sharkey who owns Sharkey Transportation and everything. And they have employees and people that work for them. What they don't see is how hard these people are working and what you got to do to keep things moving. And they're at their businesses every single day. So you start learning what it takes to be successful, what you have to do for success. And so then I have people all the time tell me if they didn't make money in a week or a month, they're like, that's a fair, that's a scam. No, it's not. What it is you have to learn how these people work. And the thing about it is, if you've never done it, and you're not reading about others that do it, then how do you know what to do next? Understand that all these books, they're nothing but tools. When you go to college, how many times you heard you got to buy the book when you're in college, and it costs a couple $100, $700, $800, maybe even $1,000 for a book, and they don't even use the book, but you still got to buy it, and you sell it back, and you're only going to sell it back. You might only get like $300 back for it, and the book's still in its wrapper. The reason why boils down to one thing that I always tell everybody, and it's a book that I like. And believe it or not, it's simple. It's Stone Soup. And it's funny because nobody ever understands when I ever say it. It's something I always tell everybody. I was like, well, you got to make stone soup. And stone soup is not about bad people. It's not about bad soldiers. It's about how we work, how we all live our lives. It goes back to World War I. Granted, I understand that. But the concept is the same for each and every one of us. When the coronavirus is going on right now, okay? Everything you've seen out here starts out with one thing. Stone soup. And everybody's like, what the heck are you talking about? This makes no sense. I'm sure that my team leaders and my mentors and my motivators are all looking at me like, what does that have to do with anything? Stone soup talks about people that are coming with nothing. Okay, a couple soldiers coming into a town. They have nothing, okay? So when you start out in business, when you start out, whether it's a networking business or brick and mortar store, or whether you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer or a dental hygienist or a nurse or whatever else, you have a goal, you have a vision, but you don't really know what to do. So you got a couple soldiers coming to town. Now theirs is a simple thing. They haven't eaten in days, okay? They have no food. They have no money. They're soldiers in World War I, and they're coming into a town that doesn't like them, okay? They're coming where they're not known. It's not that the people don't like them. The people don't know them. They know nothing about them. So everybody shuts up their shops, They shut down everything completely, okay? And so when people start out in business, you'll have people that want to help you out. But when you come up to them and you want to get to the end first, you want the finish line, you don't want the starting line, they shut down to you. So you got to start somewhere, okay? And so I've developed a tactic of teaching people what they did with stone soup, all right? And it just goes on. It's a very simple story. I'm not going to read it now or anything like that. But I know a lot of people, they ask me, why do I get so detailed about things? Well, when they go to the first door and they knock on the door and nobody wants to answer. Nobody has that food. Nobody has anything for them. They're all broke. They're all poor. They ain't got nothing. But what it is they all hid everything away, okay? And sometimes they don't even know what they have. It's just they don't want to give it. They don't want to look. They don't want to do anything. So sometimes, whether it's a team member, or maybe it's somebody that's trying to look to go into business, or maybe it's somebody in college, or somebody looking for a job, they don't know what they have to bring to the field. They don't know that maybe somebody's got some lettuce, Okay, oh, I got these stones. You ever had stone soup? It's your way of getting them to open up to you as a person. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a marriage, maybe it's something, but the whole idea is you've got to start the communication somehow. Okay? And as they say in Stone Soup, okay, here come three soldiers. Soldiers are always hungry, but we have little enough for ourselves, and they hurry to hide their food. So every time you come up to somebody that wants your help, everybody around you is hiding stuff from you, but that doesn't mean they can't help you. Okay, that doesn't mean that they can't offer you something. Maybe somebody knows how to write an application. Maybe somebody knows how to write a resume. Maybe somebody knows how to proofread. Lord knows I need all my stuff proofread all the time. Okay? So when we're doing stuff out there and we're sitting there treating people like crap and, oh, it's better to drink. No, how are you making any money if you're out there putting people down? How are you making a living for yourself if you're so busy around people that are not looking out for your better future? Okay? So soldiers come into town, and they have to start coming up with something to get people to start opening up, okay? They weren't lying to them. They made stone soup. They found 3 stones, okay? And man, each one of them had to find a clever way of making the townspeople, each person, one by one, finding out what their specialty is. Just like you got to do with your teams, just like you got to do going into a job, just like you're going into a job interview, you're the one who has to read them, okay? You have to give them, you have to figure out what they're looking for. And so when you're doing it, you're like, okay, maybe you can get me the lettuce, and you can get me the carrots. Oh, maybe somebody has a little bit of, water. Oh, somebody's got a bowl. Great. Okay, maybe somebody can proofread for you. Maybe somebody can show you the books to read. Maybe somebody can sit there and go over. Maybe somebody can recommend you. Maybe somebody else can sit there and they can give you an idea. Maybe somebody has a 15-minute presentation they can give you real quick because they feel it's important, okay? You may or may not be interested, but maybe they have one. And maybe it's something that you've never seen before, but you're so used to everybody like, oh, that's a scam, or that's a pyramid, or oh, that business down there, they're going under, or oh my God, they were shut for so long with the coronavirus, I wouldn't want to go work for them because they had to shut their doors, or oh, that trucking company. You hear it from every business out there. One of my mentors, Rich, told me, and he told me to look it up. I tell everybody, if you want to look up something fun, look up Microsoft, okay, versus Google. Or look up Samsung versus Apple, and look at all the complaints there are, okay? Look at all these cell phone companies you trust, and everybody's got a problem with their, oh, they didn't do this, or they didn't do that. And they just keep moving around. But guess what? None of the companies are bad. They didn't do anything wrong. It's just people told us wrong. Or maybe we got the wrong information, or we maybe had the wrong salesperson. It doesn't make the companies bad, but you go on there and you see all these complaints. So then you go and all of a sudden somebody wants to have you come into a business, okay? When I went into the nightclub business, everybody told me the first thing was I couldn't do it. And the thing about it wasn't because I couldn't do it. They're like, oh, you'll never get the license, or oh, they don't let anybody else, or you're never going to open this up. Okay. So instead of giving up, I found a way. Okay, so I opened up my first one. And, yes, there was difficulties, and yes, it was trial and error. Well, then when I closed it down, everybody's like, oh, you're closed down for good, blah, blah, blah. Everywhere. I was opened up with a bigger, better one within, 3 months. Granted, with lawsuits and legal and everything else, my daughter was born. I didn't want to put her through it. So, but the thing about it is, one thing I never did was I gave up. I never gave up. And I had an encouraging father, I had an encouraging family, I had encouraging friends out there, and I stayed away from those that were so negative. It's called rising star, falling star, They're wanting everything from you on the way up, and they're kicking you on the way down. Okay? But that's not how we do business. All right? When I was a detox counselor, my God, there's nothing you could do right with those guys because they have addiction and they have problems. And your best bet is to just love them and to give them hope. All right? And then later on, working on farms and bucking bales and all the different odd jobs I did, and whatever it took to get where I needed, I did find a business that I love. And the thing about it is, everybody thinks I did all this while I was in my one business. I didn't. It took time. I had to build it. Success is not about how much money is in your pocket. That can be a goal you set for yourself. Success is picking something out and meeting that expectation for yourself, setting it higher, reaching it, setting it higher, reaching it, setting it just a little bit out of your way, doing what it takes to get there. knowing that if it's so easy to get, it's not a goal. It's just, okay, I'm going to do it. You know, it's kind of like telling yourself, I got to get out of bed in the morning. No, you have to. That's not a goal. That's something you have to do. Okay? So the reason why I go over all this, and I tell everybody else to read books, 11 good pages. Me, I tell everybody, try to read at least 2 chapters. Okay? 11 pages is fine. Every book is different. I'll tell you what right now. The manifesto, where's it at? That thing's got some, Relentless is another one. It's got some long chapters in it. But 11 pages is fine. But you go in here and you read these books. This is something from my company. That's Building a Gap. That's not a book. But the whole idea is this. Books are tools. Companies are tools for your way to gain success. So whether you're selling vitamins or you're selling coffee, maybe you're selling oil, perfumes, oils, Sensi's, vacuums, legal, identity. Maybe you're selling Arbonne or Amway or, Pennzoil or Amsoil or, whatever it is you're doing. You need to have a goal for yourself, and you can't get into it and be like, I give up. And the reason why I say it like this is this. I've had people in my business that come up to me a month later and never even call me, ask me what's going on. And, I flat out told them, you have to do this, this, this. Why didn't I like it? Well, did you call anybody? Yeah, I talked to one. Okay. So if you go to a doctor and the doctor tells you there's something wrong with you, do you just agree with it, or do you get a second opinion? You get a second opinion. Okay? You can't go off of the first things you do in any business. Not just mine, any business. Yeah, I coughed in my hand, but I'm at home and I'm going to wash my hands with ammonia, okay? Seriously, I got ammonia right behind here. I'm not going to touch anything. I know everybody's like, there, he did that. Hold on. I know y'all are looking at me like I'm crazy. All right. So, I keep a bottle of ammonia over here, in case everybody's wondering. I do not trust. I do keep ammonia, and I keep everything else around here, too. All right. So, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Read books. Today was about a book. It wasn't for me to read books. And I'm going to go back in and on YouTube and on Facebook or whatnot, I'm going to be reading books again. Now, back on Legacy 28, if you find that or you want me to add you, you got to send me a message, okay? Real quick, I told you guys that I've got several of these books going to go out. Everybody that wants one of these books, I'll send you one of these books. That's called Lead the Change. I got a whole bunch of them. I got about a couple hundred of them. I got several Jim Rohn books. I also have a Chromebook, which, by the way, is a computer. And I got a couple iPads. And there's a couple things we're giving away. And the reason why I'm able to do it is I had a bunch of stuff for one of my trucking shows. Okay? And a couple other shows I was getting ready to do because they got canceled. So instead, I'm going to put them to you guys. Fill out the 1-minute survey. I'll put it back up here in a minute. All right? And I'll put it on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And what I'll do is you click on it and you tell me what's going on. In other words, your name, everything. You take the quick 1-minute survey. And if there's anything else I need to know, put it on there. And then I'm going to do a drawing for all these things. And I'm going to send them out to you. Okay? And as you can see, these all come in. I buy sets of them. Okay? I really do. And Building an Empire. Sorry, Building Lasting Success is a program I have. But Building an Empire by Brian Curlers. I've got several books of that I'll be giving away. Because, like I said, but when you get these books, I want you to also come on here and talk about the books with us, okay? So when I read a book, say, it's just right in front of me because I just happened to, it's one of my main books. So, Untrapped, okay? The Freedom Manifesto. So we read it. We go from page to page, but here's just that we can read it, but you got to pick your brain about it. You got to actually go back and understand it. I don't want you just reading the books, okay? I give Go-Giver books away, Eat That Frog, and these books do cost me money, but I take a little bit out of what I make, and then I make sure that I can give back to my teams and the people that are willing to do what it takes, okay? If you don't do anything in life, you get nothing in life. If you can't give a little bit back, you're never going to get anything in return. I've been very successful, and I'm very happy with the company I'm with. I get that. And I help, and like I said, I love the idea that I'm not a lawyer, but I've got some of the best lawyers in the world that help our members, okay? And, I love them because I use them. And they're always great to me and my members, and I love it. But you got to love what you do. You got to be willing to do what it takes. Is it always going to be fun? No. I mean, I've suffered in almost every business at some point in time I've ever done. Because, like I said, when you put everything in it, you're going to get hurt. But here's just it. You got to brush yourself, get back up. Because guess what? You already did the hardest part. The hardest part was getting back up. You may have went all the way to the bottom. Great. And all you got to do is climb back out. Don't know how to climb? Start climbing. Just figure it out. There's people to help you. Okay? So, I went a little bit more in detail than I wanted to. But I'm grateful for each and every one of you. By the way, one of the things I think I want to start learning next is French, believe it or not. So if you guys want to know, because since we just went up into Canada, I was hearing a thing about Canada and trying to speak French and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what, that might be a new language I should learn. Just because the Canadians speak French, I'm a proud American. I'm a proud American Marine. I'm a proud father. I'm proud to come from where I'm at. I'm proud Legal Shield, independent associate with Legal Shield, I'm proud of my team. I'm proud of the people, my mentors and everything. But you got to understand, you got to find something to hook onto. So a lot of people, they ask me, where do you go? Well, I gave you a whole bunch of information, and I forgot to start my clock. That's the reason why I went over. I usually have a time clock right in front of me. So, all right, everybody, that's it for this one. I'm going to go live back on here again, and we're going to start reading some more of the books. That's actually reading it. I will end this with a quote out of my little friend of mine got to me this when I was in the Marine Corps, okay? And I just kind of turn the page and I read. And I don't even look what I'm reading. I'm just going to read it, okay? The rung of a ladder was never meant to rest upon, but only to hold a man's foot long enough to enable him to put the other one somewhat higher. And I think that goes for this. If you're going to start a journey, you're going to start climbing a ladder, that rung of the ladder was not meant for you to stand on. It was meant for you to put a foot on, rest it till you get to the next foot up, and then the next foot up, to move forward, to move up, to move out. You can think of that as your hole. You got a ladder down there. You're on the bottom right now. Put your foot on the ladder, put your foot on the rung, and start moving up. Just like it says, the rung of a ladder was never meant to rest upon, but only to hold a man's foot long enough to enable him to put the other somewhat higher. Aldous Huxley. So, all right, everyone. Thanks, everybody, tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Hope you guys have a great evening. If you need anything, that's great. I'm going to end this, and then we're going to go live with the next segments for the other stuff we're going to do. Okay? Talk to everybody soon. And I also got to look what time it is because I have a Team Pinnacle call that I have to be on tonight, too. So if I'm past that, I shouldn't be, but I'll talk to everybody a little bit.